I hate survival games. Like, I can't stand them. Welcome to the video. Don't worry, I don't want you thinking this is one of these videos where I'm going to explain my opinion on something and then try and convince you that you should have the same opinion because I'm right and you're wrong. No, I know I'm probably wrong here, but it's my opinion and I can't help the way I feel, okay? So let me just explain my thoughts and opinions on survival games, no matter how abrasive they are. Even if you want to punch me in the face, it's okay, but just let me say how I feel so you can understand where I'm coming from, okay? I just think for the most part, survival games seem to be these tedious, monotonous, boring task games that you just keep doing the same thing over and over again with no real payoff.
No.
Like, the payoff is that your character doesn't die so that you can then keep on doing the monotonous task day after day. Yippee! With really annoying and silly mechanics, you know, like, I hate being in the middle of something, like I'm doing something really dangerous, so there's enemies about, and suddenly my character just really needs a snack.
Feels quite hungry.
Or that gameplay loop that a lot of them have where it's like, find thing A, and then find thing B, and then put them together to make thing C, and now you can now pick up thing D to go and collect thing E. It's a pain in the arse. And then all the while I'm constantly checking on my character as if it's a toddler, like, do you need to go to the toilet? Are you sure?
No, fuck off.
Okay. And some of them take it really far, like, you know, games that will have like a shitting and pissing mechanic, you're like, who the fuck is this for? Most of the time when I play a survival game, what happens is I start up the game, and once I get to the point of building like a base or having like the basics down, I can kind of survive, I immediately lose interest and I don't care anymore. I've done what I needed to do. Like the open-endedness of a lot of them and the fact that I have to give myself motivation to care, which maybe says more about my own drive. Yeah, it makes me wonder if maybe if I had some drive, I wouldn't be sat here talking to a camera about games. But anyway, that's not what the video's about, so we'll move on. And what's even worse is when I play survival games with like friends, because I know one of my friends who's like unemployed or something is just going to spend the next few weeks just making it their narrow interest. So anytime I log on, they'll have done everything that needs to be done. So there's no fucking reason for me to do anything. So saying all that, Vintage Story, this game that is a very intense, obtuse survival game, which is the exact epitome of everything I've just talked about and asked for so much time and thoughtfulness from its players, has managed to change my entire mind on the whole genre of survival games. So one night I'm sat rotting on YouTube just watching video essays, scrolling through my phone, and this video by Fluffy comes up on the game Vintage Story. And I watched this video and I thought, wow, this game is like a checklist of every single thing I hate about the survival game genre. I have to play it. It was kind of like the game was mocking me. It was like, you will never fucking play, you will never play this. So that's what I did. I went and immediately bought it and jumped in. Yeah, I guess we're all just like one really good video essay away from changing our entire outlooks on life. That's what I've learned. So for those that are unaware of what Vintage Story is a sandbox survival game. And it's a game that might look eerily familiar to you, where you, the player, go away and craft your own story. But the visuals and the fact that you're breaking blocks should kind of be where the comparisons to Minecraft end, because actually playing this game and saying it plays anything like Minecraft is like comparing Santa to your sex life, because, you know, neither exist. But it's hard not to compare, obviously, because this game started out as like a Minecraft mod. It took the basic groundwork of Minecraft to create this, but I promise you that it's not just a shitty clone that it looks like, okay? I promise. Essentially, you start off in like the Stone Age, you're picking up rocks and sticks off the ground, smashing them together to make tools to then form your base, and you'll essentially work your way through different ages. You know, you'll go from like the basic survivalist, just trying to like hunt food, to then tanning your own leather and creating like basically your own blacksmith workshop. Now, I've not actually made it that far in the game. Get off my back, okay? The Stone Age lasted like 3 million years. I have 20-something hours, okay? Rome wasn't built in a fucking day. Get off my back. Like, this is the type of game where if you want to jump in blind, you better have like a degree in agriculture. Because for me, playing it has been like 40% of the time I'm actually playing the game, and then 60% of the time I'm like Googling what I'm meant to be doing because I have no idea. But as far as a survival game, it has a lot of cool stuff going on. You know, like based on where you are on the map, the weather can be completely different. Like you could be stood somewhere and it not be raining, and then like 10 blocks away from you it can be pouring with rain. Like the world has different types of soil, and that will greatly impact like your crop. There's seasons, like the game has an actual time thing, so winter is coming and it's going to fucking ruin your life. I swear to God, it's going to ruin your life. It sucks. Your food spoils over time, so you need to then figure out a way of keeping your food good and making like a storage underground so it keeps cool. Nutrition, you actually have to keep a somewhat balanced diet. You can't just eat bread and watermelon every single day, which is really hard, you know, because I'm a carbivore. I'm keeping that joke in, fuck you. The thing about this game is if you play it and then you go back to Minecraft, it kind of makes Minecraft feel like painting by numbers, and this feels kind of like if you're having to paint the Sistine Chapel, but you actually don't know anything about the Bible, you're just having to make it up as you go. I just want you to know that while I was trying to come up with this video, I thought it was the 16th chapel, because I thought there was like 16. But yeah, essentially this game takes everything up a notch, you know? I wanted to show an example of what I mean so people that have never played this game can understand just how laborious and tedious this game can be, but why that's also great. So for example, let's look at wooden planks. So in Minecraft, if you want wooden planks to like build a house out of, what you do is you start up the game, you walk up to any tree, and then you punch the tree until the log comes out. You take the log and you put it into your little inventory crafting thing, and suddenly you have wooden planks. Ta-da! In Vintage Story, if you want planks, first I'll need to make an axe, because I can't punch a tree down, I'm not the Hulk. So I have to gather up like little rocks like flint and sticks, and then I have to knock the shape of the axe head out of that, and then to make the axe head I have to attach it to a stick to have an axe. Okay, cool, we have that. So then I'll need to go and chop down some trees to gather my logs. Cool, I go do that, I have my logs. Now I'm gonna need a saw if I want to make planks. To make a saw, well, first I will need to find copper, because I need to make a saw, you need to make it out of copper. But first I have to go find clay, because I'm gonna have to make some molds of stuff. So I need to go find clay so I can make a crucible, so I can put the ore in and smelt it down, you know. So I go away and I get some clay and I make my molds for a pickaxe, for a crucible, and a hammer, because I'm gonna need that to hammer the metal. But obviously the clay hasn't set, so I need to then make a hole in the ground and put my molds in it and cook them for about a day or so before they can be hard molds, you know, so you can use them. So then I'm going to put my ore in my crucible and I'm going to smelt it. Oh, but wait, the fire I've made isn't going to work because, you know, firewood doesn't burn at high enough temperature. Obviously. So what I'm going to need to do is make charcoal. So I'm going to have to gather loads and loads of wood, chop it up, and then put it in a pit in the ground and then cook that for about a day or so to make charcoal, so I can then use that, obviously. So then I put my copper in the crucible and I cook it on the charcoal and I smelt it down to the liquid and I go to pick it up and I burn my hand, obviously, because you need tongs. Of course, you can't just pick that up. That's 1,000,000,000 degrees. You'll burn your wee fingies. Watch out. Okay, so then I pour out my mold. I can make a pickaxe and I can go get ore. And if I'm a fucking nerd, I can make a prospecting pick that then helps me locate the sources. I'm not a nerd, right? I just dig, okay? Like a Chad, like a Sigma. What the fuck? Oh no. No. So I go away and I spend a lot of time digging up lots and lots of ore. Now I need to also go away and gather even more clay, because I'm going to need to create my own anvil out of clay. And then I need to make a forge out of like rocks and stuff. And then I need to make some molds to make some ingots, so then I can then form some copper ingots by smelting them down. And then I can use those ingots on my anvil to then hammer out the shape of a saw that then I can use with some sticks to make a saw. And now I can turn my logs that I got at the start of the game into wooden planks. And that took 4 to 6 hours of gameplay. Oh. It's a journey, okay? I also want you to know that I did all that while using like YouTube tutorials and wikis. Like that wasn't just off the cuff, so that probably would take a lot longer if you were just like trying to raw dog it. Yeah, this game asks a lot. So I want to talk about the first night in Vintage Story. So I might have been very naive, so I watched that video essay and I just jumped in. I was like, well, this is just Minecraft's Prepare to Die edition. Like how hard can it be? I'm a bit of a veteran of Minecraft, you know? How hard can that be? So I made my little guy with his little harmonica voice. My guy is Bob Dylan. And I spawned in this rainy like field and I was like, oh my god, right, trying to find my bearings. And then all of a sudden I see this thing and I go, I'm just gonna fucking pretend I didn't see that because that's horrifying looking. And I'm just fumbling my way around trying to figure out what I'm meant to do. The game's trying to give me hints. It's like, hey, try napping. I'm like, bro, I'm not even tired. So after spending like half an hour just trying to figure out what I was meant to do, now my character is starving to death. Great. I finally managed to figure out how to make a spear and I'm like, cool, I see a wee lake, I'll go there and I'll try catch some fish. So I'm trying to catch some fish. And then it's starting to get dark, so I'm like, I'll quickly make a fire. I then have to look up a YouTube tutorial to make the fire because I don't know how to do that. By this point, it's pitch black. It's not even pitch black actually, it's pitch nothing. I can't see a goddamn thing. This game is so dark. So now I'm shitting myself because I don't actually know what any of the enemy types in this game look look like, and I just saw that freak, so I don't know what's coming at me. My character is literally slowly dying from hunger, and I'm just huddled around this fire with my spear, scared out of my goddamn mind. I'm both physically and metaphorically in the dark. And it was in this horrifying moment that I thought, wow, this game's kind of sick. Because it kind of reminds me of that feeling you had very early on in Minecraft of the first night, where it was actually kind of a threat. You know, you had to immediately start trying to figure out what you were doing because the threat of danger was on the way.
Close the door! Close the goddamn door!
There we are.
You don't have that now because Minecraft's changed the way it is. It's a lot more accessible. You start in Minecraft and you walk 2 minutes in one direction, you'll find a village and you have food, shelter, a bed. The whole first night and the survival aspect of it is gone. Now, I don't want to sit here and keep comparing it to Minecraft because they're completely different games. And I think it's unfair to Vintage Story's actual experience to compare it to, you know, the biggest game ever made. Like, Minecraft went away and showed, like, oh, indie games, the power of them, and expanded beyond anyone's imagination, you know, and managed to make a sandbox that you can enjoy no matter if you're a child or a fully grown adult. It's probably why Minecraft YouTubers love it so much. And Vintage Story isn't that at all. This game niched hard. This was like survival niched. Like, Vintage Story basically gives you that feeling where if you're not going to put in the work, you're not going to do very well, you know? When you boot up the game in like the menus, there is the quote at the bottom of the screen that's by Les Brown. It says, if you do what is easy, life will be hard, but if you do what's hard, life will be easy. And that really does sum up the entire experience of playing Vintage Story. I think it's very fitting. At the same time, I always think quotes like that are quite funny. Like, you know, it's like, yeah, I see you've just switched some words, you know? Is it really that deep? You know, it's like, you know, every poo's a pea, but not every pea's a poo. Ooh. And it's funny because as I started playing the game and I wanted to get better, I went on YouTube looking for kind of like introduction guides, and I found this YouTube video. It's like an hour long and it's like your basic how to start the game. I'm like, sick, you know, it's like get yourself a pickaxe. I'm like, cool. Ores, okay, I get you, cool. Saw, so you can make loads of stuff. Right, everything's opening up. And then he just immediately goes to like building his own automated windmill. Uses the power of wind to break up his like wheat. And I'm like, you were just teaching me my times tables, and now it's like, here's Pythagoras theorem, bro.
To change direction, attach an angled gear to the end of the shaft.
I'm getting like a weird feeling in my balls.
The really cool thing about Vintage Story though is the game has like 4 kind of set difficulties at the start, but then you can customize every single aspect of the game to your liking, which is great because after my first save, I went and made a new one, and the first thing I changed was the hunger rate, because if you don't, your guy's like Michael Phelps. Like, this guy needs like 5,000 calories a day, and I can't sustain that. I'm just trying to play the game. The game really does not treat you like an idiot. In fact, it might give you a bit too much credit, especially me. Like, this game had way too much faith in my abilities to survive. But like, it's so hostile. Like, very early in the game, I came across a fox and I had a spear, and I was like, I'll just kill that fox. And then the fox almost killed me. I was like, oh, the wild animal with sharp teeth can bite back? Oh, right, sick. And God forbid you see a bear. If you're out and about and you see a bear, run. Oh fuck, he's still there. Go, 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 go. Oh, just fucking leave me alone. Okay, run, go. Barry Allen, come on. Right, surely. Surely he's not gonna get me through here. Surely. Are you Pharrell Williams right now? Because obviously I was playing this and I had Minecraft brain, so I'm just like, yeah, everything I see, yeah, I'm just gonna knock that down and I'll be able to do that. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. I've got it. I know what I'm doing here. Then you'll be like, it's not working, and you'll look up how to do it and the game immediately humbles you and you'll be like, oh, that's like a 20-step thing. Oh, right, shit. And especially the actual mining in this game, the happy-go-lucky spelunking that you do in Minecraft couldn't be any more different than the experience here. Caves are utterly horrifying because your torches burn out. Like, darkness is complete darkness. Like, you cannot see a thing, and the average enemy will just tank you. You're actually far better being a giant nerd and getting a prospecting pick. As much as it pains me to say, like, you kind of got to be a bit of a nerd in it. Gathering data. Oh, look at you loser. What are you doing, a means test, you fucking loser? It's hard for me to explain why this game feels so different to me than most survival games, but I think it comes down to the kind of tactileness of the game, if you get me. Like, the hands-on creation of everything around you. It's very step by step, and every process takes like time and thoughtfulness from you to create the thing you're after. Like, nothing's just handed to you. It's like a very tentative process where you have to gather the items and then use those said items to then make something with that. And it's very much like hands-on. It feels like I'm actually doing something. Like, I'm putting in the effort and I'm seeing the actual reward in real time. It's incredibly satisfying to play. Now, don't get me wrong, there's a bunch of things things about this game that I'm not going to sit here and glaze that I actually don't think are that good. Like, I was playing the game one day and suddenly I thought my like GPU was melting. I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then this happened, which I completely forgot was in the game. Alright. Like, there's this whole other reality kind of concept, like Silent Hill. Essentially, in the world, there's areas that are like much more unstable than other ones, and you slowly lose your mind, and you can then see this. And then you get these storms like once a week where these enemies will appear and stuff. And when this first happened, I was like, this is the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen in a game. What is that? Oh my god. And then 30 seconds later, I immediately was like, this is really annoying and I want it to stop. I'm not having fun anymore. Like, I think it's a really cool idea in writing, if you get me. But the moment I actually started playing it, I just felt kind of like nauseating, and I was like, oh, this is annoying. And I immediately felt like I was playing those survival games that just pissed me off, where I'm just like, oh, right, okay, here's some random trivial shit to get in the way of what I'm doing. And then what happened was I realised like the area I'd built my house was on a really bad temporal stability area, so this was going to keep happening. So I was like, shit, I'm going to have to move. I was kind of planning to move anyway, but I had to do it then. So I then travelled for so long to find a spot that I was really happy with, and then I had to tediously go back and forth moving all my important shit because I wasn't starting again. And then I got to the new place, and then I looked it up and realised that this was going to keep happening regardless. Eventually something was going to happen. So I just used a console command to turn that whole aspect of the game off. I can already see the comments being like, skill issue, idiot. It's actually very important to the lore of the game. You can't do that. Well, I did that. That's what I did. I turned it off. I did that because I can and I will. Play the game the way you want to play it, okay? And I hate this stuff, so I'm just going to be a wee survivalist without the whole end of the world thing going on. This game also has like an insane amount of lore behind it. It's what I refer to as roll your eyes lore, you know, because it's like you'll find stuff in the world and you'll think, oh, there's something going on here, and then you'll go on YouTube and type in like Vintage Story lore, and a video will come up and it'll be like back in 1412, and you'll suddenly be like, right, aye, is that right? Sure, cool. Aye, how the fuck was I meant to piece that together? Shut up. Yes, like, you know, you start watching a video on YouTube and like less than a minute and you go, you know what, I actually don't care. Why am I watching this? What a waste of time. Whilst on the subject of things I don't like, okay, is the name. Vintage Story, that was the best you could come up with. I hate that name. It's so bad. It was a choice, I'll give them that. Imagine when they made Minecraft, they were like, how about Blocky Tales? And everyone's like, that's a great name. That's the best we're going to come up with, you know? Awful. You know, like Vintage Story was the best they could come up with. Vintage Story. I've been telling people recently I've been playing this game, and the moment you're like, oh, I've been playing Vintage Story, they're like, goofy ass name is that? If it was me, I would have called the game like Ages, you know, because you go through the different ages. Like, I know that's a shite name, but I think that's way better than Vintage Story. What you playing? I'm playing Ages. Oh, is that the game where you work your way through the ages? Yes. No, anything's better than fucking Vintage Story game. So, even though this game is the exact epitome of everything I moaned about when I talk about how much I hate survival games, you know, hunger, tedious fetching of things, inventory management. But this game feels different. Instead of the collect-a-thon where it's go get 20 logs and this opaque thing will show you where your base is going to go. There's like thoughtfulness behind every mechanic. Like, yeah, I went and got all these resources, but I actually don't know how to make the thing, and I need to sit down and figure out, and then I'm going to meticulously make it by hand. And before I knew it, with all these little mechanics, I was suddenly having fun, which is something I don't usually do in these types of games. And I became somewhat attached to my things. This is my house on my current save. Stop laughing. Stop laughing. An adult man made this. Stop laughing. Stop laughing at me. But like, every single bit of this house was handcrafted by me. Every tool inside there was made by me, and every single thing in here has a little story behind it of me having to go and gather all the stuff and create it, and all the fuck-ups behind it to get to this point. So yeah, I care. So stop laughing at it. A lot of survival games experience it is just like, collect this certain number of this thing and then you will get this thing. And I'm kind of like, I don't care. But it's like, no, not here. I made this. I made this by hand. Okay? Slowly. I am the Outdoor Boys YouTube channel. Okay? So for me personally, this game's been really cool because it's been like a bit of a detox. I have a mobile phone, obviously, and I have apps on my phone. And I now have an app on my phone that stops me from using other apps on my phone for too long. And saying that out loud is the saddest thing I've ever said. I'm a grown man that needs to be told when time's up. Okay, go to bed. Stop it. Because I've recently found, like, at the end of the day, I will sit down and I'll put on YouTube, and I'll also look at my phone, and I'll just not really watch anything of value. I'll just put things on the background and I'll scroll through my phone, and before I know it, it's like 2 a.m. and I've achieved nothing, and I feel like a loser. I feel like a loser. So instead of spending hours at night just watching brain rot on my phone, I'm now spending hours making sure that my fake house is maintained and my fake crops are growing very well. I've also realised that I've been being a bit shitty in my day-to-day life. There's no worse person in the world where you explain that you're doing something or you have an interest in something, and instead of just being like, oh cool, they'll be like, why would you do that? It's terrible, or oh, that sounds boring. Why would you? You know, people that immediately, instead of just saying they don't like something, will shoot it down and then try and make you feel shitty about something. And I realise I've been kind of doing that a wee bit. Like, I'll just be a bit moody and mopey. I'm trying to stop doing that. And I think when I saw this game come up, I thought this would be a cool wee experiment to see if I can take something that usually I would just brush off and be like, that's shite, why would anyone want to play that? And actually give it a go, and put my money where my mouth is and experience it and be a bit more open-minded. I know it's a game, right? I know this is really trivial, but I thought it was like a mundane example I could use. So instead of sitting on my phone every night and watching 100 videos of Pedro Pascal being adorable, I'm now, playing a game, and I think it's benefited me a lot. I now know how to make charcoal. I didn't know that before. And I now know how to store my food for the winter. So, win-win. It's a very weird feeling to get something, you know what I mean? To think you would never enjoy something and then suddenly try it and then you get it, like the switch is flipped, you're like, oh, this is what everyone's been talking about. To look at something and have like strong feelings about it before you've actually tried it, and that's something I do a lot, and I'm very judgy, and I'm a bit of an arsehole. And then to go from that to then trying the thing and kind of getting swept up in it and suddenly enjoying it, even though you never thought you would. And there's no real ending or goal, like there's stuff you can do, there's lore. But I just started to find kind of joy and fulfillment in just the step-by-step process of each little task. And I feel like a lot of games I've played recently don't give me that feeling where it feels like I actually am thinking while playing instead of just switching off. And although I'm just making silly wee tools in a game and it's not real life, it feels a lot better than sitting every night on my phone for hours and achieving nothing. And it's made the few hours I play a night feel like actual time well spent instead of just wasting my time. So it turns out that blindly hating things that you actually know nothing about is a bit silly, and you shouldn't really do it. I guess that's the lesson here, that if you look at something and think you hate it without actually knowing anything about it, you should jump in the deep end, dive right in, Like, oh, I hate metal music. Well, go to Download Festival, get yourself a tent, stay the weekend. Like, I hate the cold weather. Well, book a flight, go to Greenland, stay there for a week or so. I'm not a fan of the gays. You should suck every single dick you see. Maybe that's a bit of an extreme example, but you get what I'm saying, right? But like, stop talking shit and get yourself out amongst the weeds. Because if you do that, then if you try the thing and then you end up hating it, then, well, at least you know? Anyway, cheers for watching my video. Thank you very much. Right, I'm about to get soppy for a second. Just let me, don't you dare, let me be sincere for one fucking second, right? I just want to say thank you very much for 20,000 subscribers. That's more than double like my kind of lifetime goal in this channel, so that's pretty cool. These silly wee videos that I make, and I don't make enough of, and I'm trying my hardest to get better at that, really do fulfill me and make me happy. And as a passion project that I'm so happy I'm doing. So the fact that anyone watches it is really, really cool. So I appreciate you watching, thank you very much. If you want, I do have another channel that I haven't uploaded on in like 3 years, which is just a gameplay commentary channel where I just talk over gameplay. And I'm gonna come back to that. So I'm gonna put that in the description if you wanna go check it out. If not, you have free will, do what you want, I don't care. So anyway, yes, again, thank you for the millionth time for watching these videos. It really means a lot, and I'll see you around. Cheers, bye-bye.
Blue is the color of my heart. Change the paint on the walls, and I don't know if I like it. A little self-destructive. Cool blue is the color of my heart. Change the paint on the walls, and I don't know if I like it. A little self-destructive.